It's with great pride and gratitude that we gathered here today for the kickoff of the Veterans Way and the Veterans Way banners. Last year was a huge learning curve for us, and it was a fantastic to see 42 up. This year, we've got 62, I believe, that are up this year, and so 20 more than last year. How cool is that, right? That's all because of you. Thank you. The City of Waterloo has done a huge honor for the veteran population and Veterans Way itself. I mean, we see the lights, we see how it all is coming together, and there's a few more phases happening, but these banners that happened last year and again this year has just made it like a cherry on top. You come down here, there's people from all over the place that come by and admire what we have done. And it couldn't have happened if it wasn't for the City of Waterloo and Mayor Hart. So, Mayor Hart, please.
Right. Just want to say first and foremost, I want to thank all of you for being here today. And I'll be honest, I'm a little choked up right now. You know, my father passed away about 1.5 years ago, and as I seen Yolando come up, I remember calling him from his position in Veteran Affairs to give us help and support, and then hearing Trent talk about that help and support. And I'm looking at this banner, and I'm remembering my father's banner that was across the street from the convention center. But what I want to tell you, our ability to create what we call Veterans Way has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with all of those other things. But what it is about is our ability to support those that have given so much for us to have our freedoms, for us to be here today, to be able to do all the things from running for office or traveling internationally to opening up a business to school children being able to go to school. There are so many people that have fought for us to have what we have today. And so my heart is very full today, and I'm very thankful for all of the partners. And we brought together an incredible team to create this Veterans Way experience with Trent mentioned, and to highlight the fact that the City of Waterloo and those that have come through the City of Waterloo are some of the greatest veterans that we have on this entire earth. And so you start at the Veterans Museum and you move towards the Waterloo Convention Center, and you see the Sullivan Plaza, and I see my friend Kelly's in the audience today. And it's our way to honor the service and the sacrifice of those that have fought for our freedoms, the Sullivan family. And on the other side of the monuments, you start to see others that have worked to help our communities in different ways, because I think the theme was to make sure that everyone was included when we talk about service and sacrifice. And then we go over to Memorial Hall, then we go across the river and we see the lights that every night on the hour, it's red, white, and blue in honor of our veterans. And then you come across to the Vietnam Memorial as well. And then all the way to Sullivan Park. But through and through this entire community, we want to say that we're not just a place that recognizes veterans, but we are a place that supports veterans and love our veterans. So God bless you if you're a veteran in the audience. If you're a family member, God bless you. Thank you so much for being here, and what a special and honorable day that we have to celebrate as a community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hart, and thank you for everything you're doing for the veteran community and in this Vets Way. This is just amazing. Like I said, so we have a special guest here to do a little, to talk about a very, very interesting thing that probably a lot of you don't even know is happening in in Waterloo. And if it wasn't for him spearheading this, it would have never ever happened, and it was so well deserved here. If you ever go to a national park, you get a stamp and you got the passport that you get. Well, it's dedicated, right? So each one of those are a national park that happens, and it goes through an act of Congress and everything else. Don't want to go through it too much because I don't know how much he's going to talk. but they made Waterloo a historical World War II designation spot for the national national parks, right? I can't remember. I'll let him talk about it. It's amazing. So please help me welcome Tim Hurley. There he is. I tried. Thank you for everything.
Good evening, everyone. It's great being in Lincoln Park. I'm just standing over there thinking how many years. I went to grade school right over here where the helicopter is right now, and WCF&N trolley car came right down here, and we'd change the trolley while Mr. Allen would buy us a bag of popcorn right over there. So it's great to be with you, and I thank the same people, the Exchange Club, Mayor Hart and his entire staff, for this evening and for all of the things that he's done. I have good news to share, as was hinted, and I've got the long version and I've got the short version, and we're going to go with the short. There you go. I'm happy to say I'm honored to be, first of all, a lifelong citizen of Iowa and of Waterloo, of which both I couldn't be more proud. But with that pride, I can share with you that the U.S. Department of the Interior National Park Service designated Waterloo as an American World War II heritage city. That, absolutely. And it is so well deserved, but it didn't just happen. This was an actual act of Congress that created this program through the National Park Service. It went through the House and Senate in early 2019 and signed by President Trump in March of 2019. About a year later, the very first city, Wilmington, North Carolina, to get this designation, there was an article in the newspaper, and I followed up on it to what was this program. And when I read the criteria, which are very plain and pretty simple, actually, I just rose out of my chair and shouted to no one, "That's Waterloo! That's Waterloo!" And with Mayor's persistent and exuberant backing, had to get his permission first. That's one of the only two musts of this program. We got a group together, again, represent their organizations, and some of the names have been mentioned, but I want to call the groups out by name. City Hall, of course, the Grout Museum District, Experience Waterloo, Silos and Smokestacks, another National Park Service area that's headquartered here in Waterloo, Intercog, Main Street Waterloo, and of course Veterans Affairs. We got a team together and worked all last summer and got our application in late August, and on December 28th got a late Christmas gift, and that was an email from the NPS that we are named Iowa's only American World War II heritage city. Now, I was the chief meeting caller for that group. I did very little of the work other than getting them together and maybe asking a few of the right questions. But we took a look at, first of all, when I stood up and shouted, "That's Waterloo," the first thing that came to mind, obviously, was the five Sullivan brothers and their story and their heritage. And then the home front activities here in Waterloo, in our manufacturing and our defense industry. A lot of these companies, some that are mentioned in the 36-page application, are no longer existing, but I see enough faces out there my age that you might recall some of them. Of course, Deere, they formed right away, the Iowa Transmission Company, and at their peak were putting out 1,000 transmissions a month for the Sherman tank. one of their tractor design engineers saw a flaw in the Sherman tank, corrected it, redesigned it, and it went into production that way and saved countless American lives. Rath Packing Company, at the outbreak of the war in 1941, Rath was the largest single-sited meat processing facility in the country. They also locally owned and operated, turned on a dime, and at their peak were loading 27 refrigerated rail cars a day, heading out all over the country to training bases and to both theaters of the war. Lamb, veal, beef, and pork. So I don't talk real long, but a couple of the other manufacturing entities, Hinson Manufacturing, 100,000 cartridge belts. Rankin Manufacturing, I think associated then with Powers Manufacturing, 150,000 pairs of fleece-lined boots for the Army Air Force. Powers Manufacturing, when the war ended, they had produced a lot of things for military wear, but they ended up with 5,000 basketball uniforms. And they've kept that heritage today. So in just reviewing all these things on the home front, I did a quick calculation and translated in today's dollars, and probably $6 billion plus in defense contracts here in Waterloo. 8,000 of our men and women went into the war. 255 did not come back, including the 5 Sullivan brothers. How were those jobs filled? Because the factories were working 6-7 days a week. Teenagers, retirees, women all over the place. African Americans, the path from the Mississippi Delta reopened, and a lot of our good friends and citizens that are here today with African American heritage came up to fill those jobs. And so all kinds of things that are too much for me to say now. One of the criteria was, okay, you did all these things, how have you remembered it? We're here tonight, and largely in part due to Mayor Hart, my erstwhile nephew. He calls me uncle. This business that we're all gathered together tonight is one of the ways that we remember the Sullivan Brothers Veterans Museum over in the Grout Museum District. What a gem, what a gem. Incidentally, before I forget it, I don't know if anybody from the Grout's going to be on the program tonight, but on June 6th of this year, they're opening a new exhibit called From Normandy to Berlin, and that will run until May of next year, the 80th anniversary of the end of the war in the European theater. So, short version, you all have reason to be proud that your parents, your grandparents had a part of this victory on the home front, sacrifice on the home front. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this event tonight. I would suggest for you to learn more, get on the city website or the Grout Museum website and search for World War II Heritage City, and our 36 page will come up. And I promise you, you'll be educated by it, you'll be made proud by it, and you will enjoy the reading. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I was just astonished with Mayor Hurley, ex-Mayor Hurley. When he came and talked at the Exchange Club in Waterloo and gave a longer version yet, it really made me think about what actually Waterloo is and what they've done for the United States in the world, and we see it every day. I actually found out just recently we have a small little company doing stuff all over the world again, and it's like, wait a second, there's another one, and there's so many that are out here doing it for either just regular companies or militaries around the world. It's great. So I gotta say again, thank you, Mayor Hart. Thank you, City of Waterloo. Thank you, Sandy Sommerfeld with Exchange Club of Waterloo and Experience Waterloo. I don't know if I see Lindsay. Last time I pointed her out, she got a little shy. But if she's here, Lindsay, you're a rock star. I do want to make a couple announcements about the banners themselves. Last year I didn't do a very good job trying to get the word out that there will be a banquet at the end of all this when we take them down. Typically they're up from Memorial Day weekend and they go until Veterans Day. They'll get taken down shortly after Veterans Day, and once they get taken down, last year Jessica cleaned them all. It was amazing, and then she wrapped them up and had them in a nice certificate and everything. It was wonderful what she did. Problem was, not a lot of people knew that they were over at Main Street Waterloo. Thank you, Jessica. Please, after this is done, we're gonna do a banquet, and it's gonna honor everybody, and we're gonna be passing them out during that banquet. Check your emails. We'll try to get the word out via KWWL or whatnot, and let everybody know that there will be a banquet and giving out these banners to the recipients, either the honoree or the person that put them in for the banner themselves. And then if you have one from last year and you never received it, more than likely it's over there. And Jessica would love to be able to get them to you because she has probably a dozen of them left over there. So please, if you have one and you're wondering where yours is, she more than likely has it over there and it's ready for you. If anybody wants a 2025 banner, you can email us. We can put you on the list, and then we'll give you a call when that opens up, and we'll get you on that list for 2025 as well. So I'd love to see more than 62. I'd love to see the whole Veterans Way full of banners next year, and I was astonished by the 20 that we got, that 20 extra ones, so that's great. But yeah, I appreciate everybody, and please, it's a beautiful day. Walk up and down 4th Street, take a gander, go on the digital tour, check it all out, and thank you for being here. This is awesome, so I appreciate y'all.